A little thing that is actually really important that we need to discuss is working with clear. We also want to go in and do some different fixes to different things and get things set the way we want them, but a clear essentially does this. Suppose that we have, and we do have, this image just popping out of the main content. And if you remember, when we went into the image and we put float on it, float means that it just pulls it out of the flow, aligns it left or right perfectly horizontally, doesn't move it up or down, and it just sticks it in the inside of that object, but it literally lets it kind of pop out because it's just floating above everything. Well, I want the footer to go below all the content in the main content. So what we can do is we can assign a property to a style called clear. It means let's clear stuff. So if we go to the footer, we have three options essentially, three main options. We have clear left, clear right, and clear both. Let's apply it and I'll show you what it does. So going back to your text, your CSS rather, come to the footer style, and after the border top, hit return or press enter and tab in and type in clear : that's the property name. Type in left and then save it, semicolon, and go look at it out in the browser, and I'm going to refresh by clicking refresh, and you're going to see it does absolutely nothing. A clear means this. It means if anything is to the, in this case, left of the object that the style is applied to, go below it. Go beneath the bottommost object that it finds. And there's nothing to the left of it, so it's just going to stay in place. Why don't you come over to your styling again and put clear right. Save it, go out to the browser and refresh, and look what it does. Clearing right means for the div or the object that the footer style is applied to, nothing can really go to the right of it. So it has to go below everything else. So it clears everything. A lot of times you'll find that people will put clear on the footer just so it's always at the bottom of the page, and they will put clear both, which means clear the left and the right just in case something sneaks out there. So come to clear and type in both, and that should do it for us. If I save it and refresh, same thing, should look the same. Clears are simply amazing. There's a lot of great things you can do with these. You are going to find that sometimes the clears can be a little cumbersome, to be honest. They don't work the way you expect them to work all the time. And if you get further in, you're going to find something called a clear fix that you may wind up using. You might want to do a search on that just to see what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're not doing too bad here. We're looking pretty good. But a couple cleanup items here. What I'd like to do is we're going to go in and if you look at the footer text right there, jammed against the edge of the footer. What I'd like to do is move the text down a little bit. If you remember from way back when we talked about the box model, every object for the most part can have margin, padding, and border. Margin is outside, pushing outside the object. Padding is pushing inside to push the object content away from the edge. And border is, well, border. So in this case, we want to do what's called padding. So if you come back to your styling here, put your cursor after the semicolon, press enter or return, tab in, and we're going to do padding. Don't forget, we're going to do the shorthand way of doing this. So padding : and we'll just do something like this, 20 pixels. And don't forget, it's treble, TRBL, top, right, bottom, left. Spaces between. You don't need to put units on 0. Don't forget about that. And then semicolon. And it won't kill you if you actually do type in 0 pics. It's your call, okay? Save it. Go back out to the browser, refresh, and there we go. All right, we're looking pretty good here. A couple of things we'll wind up doing is we're going to work with the header up here. So if I select all, Command A or Control A on Windows, you'll see that the header text is there. We'll work with that a bit, don't worry. We'll kind of get that all figured out. But for right now, we're going to jump into some other content. We're going to start to create links and anchors and talk about both.